In her youth, Oh Mal-soon had a fantastic singing voice and aspired to be a singer, but unfortunately missed her chance. Now elderly, her life is a mess. Her daughter, Ban Ji-suk, is a successful executive at a large company, but is distant from her mother. Her son-in-law is unsuccessful in business, repeatedly failing until he managed to open a tutoring center, which also faced competitive challenges. Only her granddaughter, Choi Ha-na, remains close to her. Ha-na excels academically but shares her grandmother's passion for singing. They often sneak out to karaoke together. During one session, Ha-na interrupts Mal-soon, noticing she couldn't hit the high notes anymore. Mal-soon sighs, acknowledging her aging voice. Despite her vocal decline, Mal-soon remains passionate about singing. On her daughter's birthday, she prepares a feast and mentions wanting to join a singing show. Her daughter immediately objects, fearing embarrassment. Her son-in-law and Hana also discourage her, fearing community ridicule. Nevertheless, Mal-soon is determined, arguing that her life is already full of regrets, and adding one more wouldn't matter. Seeing this, her son-in-law smiles and shifts the conversation to Hana's need to focus on her studies to get into Seoul University. Hana, feeling the pressure, rushes out without finishing breakfast. This leads to a confrontation where Ban Ji-suk claims she managed fine without proper breakfasts, implying Mal-soon's upbringing was inadequate. Hurt, Mal-soon leaves with an old friend on a motorcycle to attend a seniors class. In the class, the students are asked to write a poem about love. While another elderly student boasts about her husband's love, Mal-soon writes nothing but "write to silence" in her notebook, reflecting her status as a widow for over 50 years. Post-class, her friend points out that love isn't limited to romantic relationships, suggesting she could have written about familial love. Dissatisfied, Mal-soon reflects on the lack of warmth from her daughter despite her efforts, feeling unappreciated and questioning the presence of love in her life. Mal-soon's old friend reminded her of his constant companionship, suggesting it was true love. However, Mal-soon was more upset, recalling that he had left her for abroad in their youth, causing them to miss their chance. Now, he speaks of love too late. Despite her family's doubts, Mal-soon is determined to participate in a singing program. She wears a nice yellow blazer for the show, and her friend comforts her to forget all regrets for the day and just enjoy singing. When it was her turn, Mal-soon took a deep breath, suppressed her anxiety, and went on stage. She chose to sing a debut song by a famous singer, telling the judges that the song completely represented her feelings. As she started singing, she became more engaged, but the original singer in the audience stared at her mockingly. Noticing this, her voice faded until she couldn't sing the last line. After stepping off stage, the original singer mocked her, saying not everyone can be a singer. Mal-soon walked backstage, emotionally crushed, and silently cried behind the curtains. As her family predicted, she failed and felt humiliated, wishing to sleep forever and never wake up. Her friend continued to comfort her, but sounds of an argument came from Mal-soon's home. Her granddaughter, Choi Ha-na, suddenly declared to her parents her intention to give up university to pursue her passions. Ban Ji-suk couldn't accept this, arguing that in today's competitive society, survival without an education and prestigious degrees was impossible. Trying to mediate, Mal-soon asked her daughter to listen to Hana's reasons, which angered Ban Ji-suk. She felt she was just enforcing the same educational values her mother had imposed on her. Hearing her daughter's complaints, Mal-soon felt wronged. After her husband's death, she struggled to raise her daughter by selling soup, only to face her grievances now. The argument escalated, and Mal-soon angrily asked her daughter to speak her mind, leading to Ban Ji-suk expressing a wish to live apart from her mother. Disappointed and without further argument, Mal-soon felt rejected by her daughter. That night, she walked alone on the streets, feeling old and unneeded. It started to rain, and a taxi driver stopped to offer her a ride. She got in without a destination, only to find herself in a photo studio filled with portraits of deceased elderly upon waking. Deciding she was there already, she opted to have her photo taken. The studio owner arrived, and Mal-soon realized he was the taxi driver, who strangely claimed he had never driven a taxi and was only the photo studio owner. Mal-soon thought she recognized someone but was mistaken. She then sat down, started applying makeup in front of the mirror, and tried to hide her signs of aging. The studio owner was ready with the camera. Mal soon smiled, and as the camera clicked, the owner disappeared. Turning to the mirror, she was shocked to see her reflection without wrinkles or gray hair, looking like she was in her 20s again. Mal soon screamed in disbelief. The studio was well lit, which reassured her she wasn't in hell. She pinched herself, feeling pain, confirming she wasn't dreaming. With doubt and excitement, Mal soon left the photo studio. Outside was a bustling crowd, clearly the real world. She looked back at the studio, noticing its name was Youth. To confirm her reality, she asked several elementary school students if she looked like a grandmother or a young lady. Playfully, they replied she looked young but dressed and styled like their grandmother. Now sure of her regained youth, Mal soon took a taxi to a nearby supermarket. As she arrived, the store owner threw a bucket of water, which Mal soon agilely dodged, realizing her back and legs no longer hurt. The water ended up splashing on her old friend's son instead. Calming down, Mal soon did a split in front of a roadside mirror, feeling flexible and smooth-skinned. Deciding to embrace this as a divine gift, she eventually felt hungry and went to a soup and rice restaurant, which she owned until a few days ago before handing it over to two brothers because of her son-in-law's incompetence. In the restaurant, Mal soon sat down, expertly checked the side dishes, and tasted the soup, immediately starting to critique the food quality. After eating and instructing the brothers on the recipes to restore the former taste, she wandered the streets bored. By chance, her daughter, Ban Ji-sukun, walked past without recognizing her own mother. Mal soon returned to the youth photo studio, only to find it gone. Looking at her reflection in a shop window, she realized her outfit was too outdated. She entered a clothing store, bought a Chanel-style vest and a floral long skirt, and after dressing up, walked the streets. Her gaze fell on an old bar sign filled with memories from her youth. 50 years ago, Mal soon had worked at the bar, where she met a group of vibrant college students and even sang a song with one of them. Reminiscing, she walked into the bar. 50 years later, the bar had changed drastically, especially with a self-service ordering machine that, Mal soon didn't know how to operate. As she struggled with the English instructions and various buttons, a young woman kindly helped her order. It turned out to be her granddaughter, Choi Ha-na, who Mal soon discovered was singing in a band at the bar. After Ha-na's performance, Mal soon waited outside and invited her to a nearby cafe, pretending to be the granddaughter of a friend from her hometown who had met Ha-na as a child. Despite noticing Mal soon using an old model phone similar to her grandmother's, Ha-na believed her story. After their chat, as Ha-na was about to leave, Mal soon desperately grabbed her hand, claiming she was homeless and scared. The kind-hearted Ha-na then took Mal soon to a karaoke bar where she sang and danced heartily without feeling tired. However, excitement turned to discomfort as Mal soon felt menstrual cramps and rushed to buy sanitary pads at the supermarket. Embarrassed by the complex array of products, she grabbed a random pack. At that moment, a man appeared. Mal soon didn't recognize him and tried to leave with the pads, but he stopped her, saying he would wait outside the restroom. After exiting, Mal soon ignored the man and walked up to Ha-na, who was in a hurry to go home for an audition at an entertainment company the next day and couldn't stay with Mal soon any longer. The man blocked Mal soon again, calling her Emily. He introduced himself as Daniel, a board member of the entertainment company, planning to debut a girl group with Emily as the core member. Recently, Emily had disappeared, and despite Daniel's attempts to contact her, she hadn't responded. Earlier, Mal soon had posed for some photos for a discount at a clothing store, and Daniel had seen these photos, mistaking Mal soon for the missing Emily because they looked identical. Mal soon thought Daniel was delusional until he showed her a video of Emily singing, who looked just like her. Daniel believed Emily was joking with him and asked her to return to the company to prepare for her debut. Holding the business card Daniel gave her, Mal soon felt overwhelmed by the bizarre and lengthy day. At night, near her home, she heard her daughter, Ban Ji-suk, laughing joyously. Today, Ban Ji-suk had been promoted and was celebrating with her husband, seemingly unconcerned about her mother's whereabouts. Mal soon felt neglected, as if no one in her family cared about her anymore. The next day, curious, Oh Mal Soon visited Daniel's entertainment company. Daniel promised to make her a top singer, but Oh Mal Soon was anxious about being discovered as an imposter. Despite her hints about her true identity, Daniel firmly believed she was indeed Emily. Reluctantly, Oh Mal Soon agreed to Daniel's plan to launch her career. Daniel was strict, giving her only 3 months to train before debuting. Meanwhile, her granddaughter, Choi Hana, came for an audition and saw someone from behind who looked just like her grandmother. However, this person was stylishly dressed, appearing as a high-ranking professional. As Oh Mal Soon walked out of Daniel's office, she came face to face with Hana. Shocked, Oh Mal Soon saw her own aged face on the younger woman.